India is an agrarian economy, and over last 60-70 years, what we have seen is a shift towards more of cash crops. There is exponential progress in terms of horticulture production within our country, and we currently lead. We are one of the largest horticulture producer country, and largely second largest fruits and vegetable production. However, what kinds of challenges we as a country face is in the global trade, we are less than 2%. And that puts up a greater opportunity for us to increase our exports. The government policies which are shaping up the horticulture sectors in terms of large programs around cluster development by National Horticulture Development. There are various state initiatives that have been taken up through funding from multilateral agencies like ADB, World Bank to support this sector. At the same time, the way this sector has been deregulated, a lot of states have deregulated the F&V segments, and you can have a free trade within this. This provides us a right kind of policy framework plus an opportunity to market our produce. On the challenges that the sector is encountering is basically in terms of the export compliances, the quality production, and the supply chain management, where we are losing around 30 to 35% of horticulture crop within the supply chain. Uh, this is where the challenges can be addressed in terms of you know investment by public and private sector to strengthen the supply chain. If you look at in terms of the opportunities both in the domestic and in the export sector, domestically, if you look at in terms of the per capita consumption of fruits and vegetables in India is half what a developed nation or other developing nation are doing. We're just consuming 260 grams of fruits and vegetables, while developing nations or developed nations 400 to 450 grams of fruits and vegetables is consumed on a annual basis. So that's the gap on the domestic side. Plus on the trade side, like I said, we still currently are less than 2%. There's a potential scope for us to export more of the produce. Like we have more than 330 million metric tons of production, and there's large marketable surplus that's available. With the focus of government on infrastructure, the overall vision around Gati Shakti to reduce the logistic cost, this sector seems to be promising. Currently, it's a bit skewed. I mean, on the fresh sides, we are the largest grape exporter, but there are other commodities where we can have advantage if right kinds of policies and incentives are built in, and farmers are empowered to do that. And I think we by 2030 we will be able to command or double our share from 2% to 4% of the global trade volumes. If you look at in terms of horticulture as a sector, will divide the supply chain into two parts. One is post harvest side, and other is the production to post harvest. The production to post harvest is very organized. If you look at in terms of the seed companies, the input players and all, they are very organized in this sector. But the post harvest side, which is basically marketing, supply chain management and logistics, it seems to be very fragmented and it is not organized. Such event provides aggregation of various stakeholders to debate, deliberate on the challenges that as a value chain what we are facing and how that could be addressed. Just to give an instance, it's a very good initiative to have such kinds of forum, so that you are able to create stewardships for particular sector which would drive not only the policy agenda but vision for that overall sector. Horticulture itself for last several decades was not thought to be a kind of a sector that would drive economy, but now that's gaining an importance. The way IT sector received or industrial sector received, government have started paying attention, and even private sector have started paying attention towards horticulture. At the same time, we look at the producer end, you have a significant shift over horticulture, which will enable a value creation for all the stakeholder. At the same time, provide that increment to the GDP, where we are targeting to be a 5 trillion economy by 27-28 and a $35 trillion economy by 2047. this sector will play a crucial role. These kinds of forum would enable in terms of to address the challenges across the value chains and not look at it in terms of isolation. There are various initiatives state governments are taking. Just to give an example, Maharashtra, through a World Bank funded program, a first grape stewardship council is established, which will work in terms of further developing the grapes value chain. Same way, there are other stewardships which would involve, developed, and that would further the agenda. And I think forums such as this would provide a base to promote these value chains, not only from the economical point of view, but also from the socio-economic perspective, because this sector again employs a lot of women farmers, a lot of producers, a lot of private sector indirect involvement is there. And I could clearly see a shift between this from a PPP model, where there is a producer private sector partnerships that are evolving, where an exporter is working with group of farmers or a cluster to empower that overall economy.